Hey everybody, Chris Gonzalez, Mother and Son Real Estate. So we're in the month of November right now, approaching Thanksgiving. And I guess the question is, what's gonna happen now that the election is over? What's gonna take place the coming year with real estate? I'm gonna try to share with you with a couple of graphs, couple of trends, what I feel may take place. So based on analyzing certain graphs, what we can predict will take place in the future. Now, this form of analyzing is called technical analysis. I'm going to put a graph up on the screen for you so you can see what I'm talking about. In the graph is showing the Dow Jones Industrial Average from 1902 all the way to about present time. And it's a trip to look at this graph because you see that throughout time. I mean, you'll see certain years, like if you look at 1932, there's a huge drop. That was the Great Depression. And you just see it climbing back up from then, going up and down, all the way up to present day, which technically speaking, the value of the Dow Jones Industrial Average share is so much higher compared to 1902, right? Even with all the madness that took place over the last 100 years in our country, the ups and the downs, it's still up. So in other words, if you would have invested $1 back in 1902, it would be worth so much more this time, right? So I want to share with you something called technical analysis. This is something that economists use, people that do investing in the stock market. They analyze graphs. And I'm going to share with you this particular period, about 1962 all the way up until 1984. I want you to notice something. It goes up and down, all the way from 1964 to 1984. You see it kind of hits this ceiling of around $1,000, right? The $1,000 mark. And then it jumps back down. Then it creeps back up and down for about 20 years here, right? Kind of doesn't go anywhere, just up and down for a long period of time. So that ceiling right there is a threshold. And in technical analysis, what happens is people look at that threshold. And if it passes that, at the point where it passes that ceiling, that $1,000 in this case, I guess you could say, that's an indication that the market is going to shoot upward. If obviously it hits that ceiling and then it goes back down, then it's going downward, right? So that's what took place for about 20 years from 64 to 84, just it hit the ceiling, then it would go back down, come back up again, try to surpass that ceiling, but it didn't, and it would go back down. So we're kind of, this is the Dow Jones Industrial Average, okay? But I want to share with you in real estate a graph that kind of made me think about what I just showed you in real estate terms though. So real estate's a completely different type of investment. However, with technical analysis, you can use the same technique, right? Now let me tell you, technical analysis is not everything. Obviously, there are things that can cause just a bunch of changes in investments, and there's so many outside factors like that. This is not the only way to determine what's going to happen in the market, but it's one way that is used. And I like it because I'm a visual person. So on this real estate graph, I was only able to find a graph that goes all the way back to 1976. Obviously, you know, there are people, even my own grandparents bought a house in I think late 50s. They bought it for $10,000. Now that same house is around 500 and change, right? 500,000 and change. So home values have gone up. This graph shows us a trend upward from 1976, a slow trend going to 2004, 2005, 2006. You see it climbing and it peaks all the way up, up until about January or the year 2007. Late 2007, you start seeing this big drop in home values, okay? So what's taking place now? Let's move over to present day, about 2015, 2016. You see that we're starting to climb up. And notice on that previous graph that I showed you in the Dow Jones Industrial Average, it would approach a ceiling, that threshold, and it would bounce back down. Or in the case of 1984, it surpassed that ceiling, it passed the threshold, and it shot upward for the next, 20 years after that. It kept on a continuous rise, right? To where we're at today. So same thing here, we're at a pivotal point in real estate because notice we are approaching, if you look at that real estate graph, we are approaching values that we had in 2007, 2006. We're not there yet, but we're approaching those. So what does that tell us? I feel, based on analyzing these graphs, that we're still gonna have an increase in home values, maybe another year or 2 years, okay? And there are a lot of economists out there that feel the same way. They think it could be a good market where it's climbing for the next 2, 3, some even believe 4 years, okay? But there's gonna be a point where it is either gonna shoot up more or it can bounce off of that ceiling right there, that threshold that we had back in 2008 and kind of curve down again and come downwards. So that's where we're at right now. I wanted to share that with you. Hopefully you find value in this. So like I said, my prediction is values continue slightly upward for the next year, maybe 2 years, hit that ceiling and possibly come downward. It depends. When we hit that ceiling, we got to see what's going on with the economy and whatnot. There's no 100% guarantee in anything. This is just analyzing and using graphs to kind of predict where we think things are going to go. But most importantly, guys, I want to share this with you. Most importantly, if you are a buyer, okay, you're a buyer out there, what I want you to be concerned with, and the question that I usually ask many buyers out there, is your monthly budget. What is affordable for you a month? If I can know what you are able to pay a month in a house payment, factoring in what kind of down payment you currently have to work with on that house, we can figure out your price point, what price you should be looking for. Okay, so most importantly, what's your monthly budget? Even if values drop, let's say you buy your house for $450,000, right? You have a really good interest rate, you're able to afford the payments every month, your job allows you to do that, to make those payments. And let's say a year, 2 years go by, now your home drops to $400,000. Technically speaking, guys, it doesn't matter if the home value drops because your monthly budget is in place. You're able to afford that house. So what I don't want you to fear is, oh, I'm not gonna buy right now because I feel like 2, 3 years from now, home values are gonna go down. When you can already be owning a home, taking into account all the benefits that you get from home ownership, being able to write off the interest, the property taxes and all that good stuff, benefits of home ownership, and here you waited 2, 3 years when you can technically afford it right now. And even if values go down, you still are able to make that monthly house payment. Okay, so look at it in that way, where it really comes down to figuring out investment-wise where home values are gonna go, if they're gonna go up or down, is if you're an investor, you have hundreds of thousands of dollars and you're trying to figure out how I can make money buying a bunch of properties, right? In that case, that investor already owns their home and they're fine there. Now they're making investment choices on whether to buy a property or not. In most cases, people are buying for their own self to live in. So in that case, worry about your monthly budget. What is important to you? Okay, and it varies for everybody because some people like to go and have entertainment every month. You know, they spend more money on entertainment than others. A lot of people tend to eat out more than others, and so that's gonna have that's gonna play a factor in how much you're able to afford a month. So I leave you with that, guys. In the months to come, I want to do a video on the questions that we ask buyers, okay, and dive in a little bit more into what I'm talking about here with the payment and whatnot. So hope that helps, guys. I know this video is a little bit longer than usual. Hope that helped. Give us a call anytime if you're interested in buying or selling. We would love to serve you. Our website is on the screen. Our phone number is on the screen as well, and we'll talk to you soon. God bless you guys.
It's okay to be afraid. It's alright when it's so soon. It's so soon.
And cut.